This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so hey, happy Wednesday. Happy first week of November, and happy our last 30 days of our 90-day sprint group, which is incredibly exciting and fun. I want to start out this meeting with a video. I know Brandy and I were talking about how much you guys liked that when we did that one time with the inspirational kind of video to begin with. So we're going to do that again today. So we have a little 10-minute video that we can watch together. I'm going to start out with screen sharing, then we'll talk about it. Then I have another 3-minute clip and then an activity that we're going to do together. So let me just screen share, and I will not be able to see you while I'm sharing my screen, just so you know, but you can yell out and I should be able to hear you if you can't hear it or something. Okay. Here we go. Now, as soon as I play this, if you could give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. I'm going to push the play button right now.
Relationship, when I get this amount of money, when I get that house,
Good, awesome.
when I hit that home run, when I'm hitting a certain average, right? And so you're always chasing your tail. If your identity and your confidence is contingent upon producing a result that has not yet existed, it's pretty difficult to catch it, isn't it? If you have to have it to get it in the first place. Hi, it's Ed Milet, and I'm going to give you a strategy today that's going to help you be more positive and contribute in the lives of other people. See, here's the thing. If you're feeling helpless, one of the antidotes to feeling helpless is to get more helpful. And one of the ways you can be most helpful is to raise your own identity. Our identity is the core part of our lives. We're not going to outperform our identity. Our identity, best said, it's the thought, concepts, and beliefs we hold to be the most true about ourselves. It's really the invisible force in all of our lives that holds us back or can accelerate our success, our bliss, our achievements to whole new levels. If you look at identity, if you think about it, it's almost like it's a life thermostat. See, in this room right now, there's a thermostat sitting on that wall right now. And if it's set at 75 degrees, this room is going to be regulated to 75 degrees. No matter what the external conditions are, it could be 100 degrees outside. The external factors do not impact the internal thermostat in this room. It's 75 degrees. Consequently, also, if it was 40 degrees outside, the heater will come on. It'll heat this room to 75 degrees. That's how your identity works. It's the internal thermostat of your life. And that's why very often, let's say that, relationships or financially, you're a 75 degreer. And if you ever notice in your life, as you start to heat life up a little bit, it starts to go pretty well. Maybe your relationship's blissful and loving and incredible, or financially, you've increased your results. You're at 80, 85, 90, 100 degrees of success financially or in business. And then it seems coincidental, but somehow, some way, the air conditioner kicks on in our lives. A car breakdown, an event happens, we lose an account, something takes place, and all of a sudden we look up and boom, life's back at 75 degrees of relationship, of money, of business. That wasn't by coincidence. It is the regulator of your life, is your identity. And so if you can do all the right things, the activities, all of the thinking, all of the execution part, but if you don't increase what you believe you're worth, if you don't increase that identity, that thermostat of your life, you will find a way to cool your life back down to what you believe you deserve. And so one of the keys for me in my life is not just getting better at the mindset of life and the execution of business or strategy, but raising that identity so that I'm at 85, 90, 100, 120 degrees, so that I believe I'm worthy of, as my execution and my thinking reaches the same level, that thermostat setting, that life setting will change. It's not the external conditions of our life that dictate the terms. It's that identity. It's that thermostat setting. So we got to get more helpful if we feel helpless. And the way we do that is by increasing our own identity, that thermostat setting. That sounds great, doesn't it? So how do you do that? Well, I call it the holy trilogy of shifting one's identity. And that is faith, intention, and association. That's the three things you must work on in order to increase your thermostat setting. Number one, faith. For me, it's the center part of my life, is that I have a God who loves me, that believes in me, that wants to see me successful, wants to see me prosper, wants to have favor in my life, wants me to feel comfort and peace, And so I find oftentimes it's interesting, people of faith, sometimes God's in their life Sunday at church when they're worshiping or they're in Bible study or when they're eating a meal, they'll pray over it. But somehow when they walk into a business meeting, a speech, a boardroom, a client environment, they leave God at the door and they think they're on their own. So for me, if you're a person of faith and God is with you all the time and he loves you all the time and he comforts you all the time, that includes business. That includes every area of your life. It includes him wanting to bless you with a great relationship, bless you financially, bless you to the best of your abilities in business. And then whatever the other, if you're an athlete watching this, bless you in that at bat, over that putt, catching that football, hitting that shot. And so number one source of shifting your thermostat setting is reconnecting again with your faith and allowing yourself to feel it inside all the other environments that exist. Then there's number two, there's your intentions. See, I don't think enough people give themselves credit for having great intention. There's a power to intention in our lives. And so what most of us think is, I'll feel better about myself or I'll be more confident when I get that job, when I get that relationship, when I get this amount of money, when I get that house, when I get that home run, when I'm hitting a certain average, right? And so you're always chasing your tail. If your identity and your confidence is contingent upon producing a result that has not yet existed, it's pretty difficult to catch it, isn't it, if you have to have it to get it in the first place? Instead of saying, maybe I ought to get credit and I ought to be worthy of more because I intend to do well. As a young man in business, I started to figure out, I may not have all the answers. I may not be the smartest, the best looking, the most articulate. My IQ isn't 250, but I intend to serve. I intend to make a difference. I make mistakes, but overall, I'm a good person who wants to do good in the world, and I should be favored because of that. Not enough of you are giving yourself credit for your intentions. You want to shift your identity overnight, connect with your faith. You want to double shift it, connect with your intentions. So when I go into a business meeting, or I go into a lunch, or I'm going into any type of encounter, even in my golf life, in my sport I play, I remind myself that I've got a God who loves me, who wants me to win, who wants me to be blessed, who wants me to be favored, who wants me to feel peace. Number two, I intend to do good. I'm a decent human being. And you know what? Good things ought to happen to good people. And then third is association. You are who you hang around. See, if you're a 85 degree or 75 degree or financially, but you start hanging around someone, say like myself, who lives at 140, 150 degrees of finances and wealth and abundance, you will get heated up by proximity to somewhere in between the two of us and a lot closer to where I am than where you are. Same thing in relationships. If you want to have a great, loving relationship in your life, but you're living at 75 degrees in your relationships, you start hanging around people who are in loving, beautiful relationships, your thermostat setting will increase. Same within your faith life. If you want to start walking with more faith in your 75 degrees of faith, if you start hanging around people who walk their faith life at 100, 150 degrees, you'll be heated up through proximity. And so these are the three things we do in order to shift our lives. Our identity is the governor on our life. It is the most powerful force in the world. It's the invisible force that governs everything, is that thermostat setting. And then if that's true, the way we shift it is always going to be our faith, our intentions, and our associations. And those associations are so huge. I know you've all heard you're the product of who you hang around the most often. But look at the last 90 days of your life, okay? And ask yourself this question. Other than, say, your spouse or children, who are the 2 or 3, 4 people you've spent the most time with? Picture their faces and their lives right now. And then I want you to measure one thing. What's their emotional maturity like? See, what I find with all successful people is they have a degree of emotional maturity that other people are absent of. So I always measure, what's their emotional maturity? How do they handle success? How do they handle failure? How do they handle their lives? Then ask yourself this. These 3 or 4 people you've been around, can you immediately name 2 or 3 things that they have in their life in an area that matters to you? Let's say it's money. Let's just say it was money. That they have that you don't have that you wish you did have? Or in relationships, can you name 2 or 3 things in their relationships that they have that you wish you had? Or in business? Or in their physical body? And if you can't immediately go, yeah, they got 2, 3, 4 things, man, I would love to have that in my life, then I'm not so sure that that's the person you want to spend the most time with. The reverse question is also, hey, can you name 2 or 3 things they have that you really don't want? When you look at their financial life, if finances are important to you, do they have 2 or 3 things going on in their life financially you definitely want no part of? Or in their relationship life, if you want a better relationship, you look at the relationship, there are 2 or 3 things like, I wouldn't want that relationship. I don't like the way he or she treats them or they get treated. You can look at that. Or their physical body, you want to be in really great shape. You look at them, do they have 2 or 3 things about their health or wellness that you don't think are really great? Well, that's an immediate sign maybe they're the wrong people. And so taking an evaluation of who your associations are they emotionally mature? Do they have the 2 or 3 things you would like to have in your life they have in theirs that you'd like to get heated up and get? Or do they have 2 or 3 things you want to avoid? These are signs that you should be away from them. So the way we get more helpful is we increase our identity, and we increase our identity by working on our faith, our intention, and our associations. If you do those 3 things, I believe you're going to live happier. You're going to help other people become happier. You're going to make a contribution in people's lives that's deeper and more meaningful than you've ever made before. And by the way, lastly, that's what you were put here to do. You were put here. You were born to do something great with your life in small ways and big ways. You were made to do something awesome with your life. Maybe not all of it's going to get limelight or notoriety, but you were born to make a difference in the world. And the more you realize that, the more you step into your intention, the more you step into the person you're capable of becoming, the more you just decide, I'm raising that thermostat setting. I'm no longer this other character I was playing. At any point, you and God are the authors of your life. You can grab the pen and start to write a new chapter and say, I'm stepping into this new character. Their identity's higher. They're more faithful. They focus on their intentions more often. They improve their associations, and they help people. Well, I hope I'm doing that for you, right? Quite frankly. That's why I exist. And so if you're not following me on Instagram or my podcast on iTunes or Spotify or one of those platforms or YouTube channel, subscribe to all of those and follow me. Every day I create content that I hope improves your life, helps you max out your life. And today is one of those little snippets for just a few minutes that I hope helps you help more people. God bless you. Max out. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. If you'd like more, click the videos right here. They're exactly what you need.
Okay. Brandy, could you chat on that a little bit while I switch out my screens?
So when I was going through different motivational videos, I find one for once, because those areas are all, if you think about it, they're center for the mental. And when I'm healthiest in my life, I have those 3 things in check. And when I was reading, I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize, like, I'm so in alignment with about that, because when I'm strongest in my faith, when I'm living my life with intention, and I'm spending my time with healthy people, I'm the most successful. So just think about how you can relate that to your life. And are you focusing on in those areas? Because if you focus on areas, I think you'll see a dramatic difference in what you attract and the success that you have, business and personal. It just, those 3 things have a place. We're just healthier emotionally and physically. So love that. We're moving on to on our ideal client, which can also tie into some of this too.
Okay, I'm going to play this video for you guys. This one's only like 3 minutes, and it talks about our ideal client. Actually, I'm going to stop screen sharing for 1 second while I am chatting with you. So, dang it. Hold on. Okay, so stop share. Good. Maybe I should just share. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, when we talk about our ideal client, some of those things is like the person that you're trying to develop yourself into, and who you admire and who you want to be are people that you really want to be attracting into your business. Now, I'm definitely not saying that we are not here to help. We are here to help, right? That's like a given. But sometimes when we're focused, there's a lot of people that need our help, that need to be helped, but they're not necessarily business-minded people, right? Or entrepreneurial based or healthy minded people, or people with a strong level of emotional health and maturity. And a lot of times when you're looking at a business and how you want it to run, those pieces are really, really important. And we can become really focused out of the kindness of our hearts of wanting to help people on a physical level, which is awesome. And it is absolute honorable, and it's great and fantastic. But if you're looking specific in the area of wanting to pair and partner up and join forces and hold hands with somebody that is business minded, you're not going to want to meet somebody that is all over the board in their habits. You're not going to bring somebody on board. I mean, obviously they're not the perfect specimen, right? but you're not going to want to bring somebody that is just a hot mess express all over their life, right? And we all are at certain times in certain places. But by and large, they should encompass some values that we really admire and look up to. So we're going to watch just a 3-minute video on it, and then we will do just a little activity that we can work through together.
Hello again, here we go. So in the last step, you filled out your unique purposes. The reason for that is to really get familiar with what you love, who you are, and to start owning your story, because the next step is to fill out who your ideal client is going to be. I want you to get really specific about this, and it's going to feel a little bit odd, at least to me it did the first time that I did this, but I want you to get really specific. What's their age? What's their demographic? Are they male or female? Do they live in the countryside? Do they live in a city? Do they have kids? How many, if they do? What's their occupation? What's their life goal, right? I want you to get really specific, because again, just like I said in the last video, when we learn how to speak to a few people, we can really hone in. When we are speaking to everybody, our story is going to get lost, and we're going to reach out to no one. That's really important. Once you draft your ideal client, what their struggles are, what their loves are, how you can help them, it will help you post to that audience. Now, top tip in this, once you start posting to a specific audience, it doesn't mean that you're not going to attract other people, but confidence and consistency and conviction is what's going to lead you to success in this. And that's exactly what these exercises are designed to do. So again, just like with the other one, shut off social media, make a date with yourself, and just focus on this. Who is it that you think that you could help the most? What are their struggles? What are their likes and dislikes? Where do they want to be in 10 years? Who do you see yourself partnering with? And then there's also a little section on here on how to actually find them, because that's always the next question that I get. So now that I've found my ideal client, I know what they like, how do I actually see where they're at and attract them to my social media accounts? Facebook is a little bit different than Instagram. It's going to go through those top tips with you on here so that you can start speaking to your ideal client through your posts. It's really important, and it's such a good next step in seeing where you want to be and making those goals a reality. As always, if you have any questions with this, please message me. We can hop on a Zoom, we can hop on the phone, we can talk through these things together. But when I started doing this, it completely changed my business, because instead of speaking to everybody, I was speaking to a few specific people, and in turn, it started attracting more people because people could see my confidence and my conviction in what I was doing. All right, I hope this helps. Please message me, let me know what it does for you, and if you have any questions.
Okay, so
Your ideal client.
Okay, so now I sent you guys a sheet, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to print it out. Oh, is that going to be weird on my computer now? Okay, I'm going to look for it. If Brandy, are you able to pull it up from your end? On this computer, it's not letting me for some reason.
I'm on my phone because I'm in my car, so I can pull it up, but I don't know if it'll screen share the right way. If I'm not on computer.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if it'll work on this one.
Weird.
Ooh, did I get it? I think I did. Okay.
Right.
Yep. Got it. Yes. All right, guys. And some of you might have printed this out and have it in front of you. And some of you might not have it in front of you. And if you just have some paper, you can just write and reflect. We're going to do this together for our last 10 minutes because we have the best intentions and we say that we're going to do the things, but life happens and we don't always do it. Sometimes it's fun to do stuff together in the moment. So it says, your ideal client. There is an incredible saying in social selling: when we try to reach everyone, we reach no one. This will help you identify your ideal client very specifically so that when you post or when you're engaging or talking to people in life, right, you can directly talk to them. Think about their age, their demographics, their kids, how many, their income. What is this person's goals? What kind of a career do they have? Where do they spend their money? What do they spend it on? What does he or she spend their time on? And what do they value? So that's where it says my ideal client profile. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that and writing those things down. So just take a couple, 2-3 minutes to just jot down the things that when you envision somebody joining forces with, that you really, really admire and enjoy doing this business with and leading and walking with, what does this person specifically look like for you? We'll just take a couple minutes.
And I want to add to that as you guys are thinking about it. I did an ideal client thing with, I think, Preston Pugmire about 3 years ago, maybe. And it was all of this information Kim shared, but he said the reason we do this, and this is people about the business specifically, not product users. We're looking at our ideal client for people who we would like to lock arms with and work this business with. Because when you are putting your focus and your mind on something, your mind attracts that. Your brain attracts that. And so you really want to think like, who do I want to be a business partner with? What does that look like? When you put your focus on it, like, we always say what we focus on expands, but there's actually a lot of truth to that, because when you identify it and you visually see it, your brain is going to seek out finding the answer to that. So there's a lot of science actually behind that proves all of this actually works. So really think about that. And then I want you to post this in your house somewhere where you see every day the characteristics of your next business partner. Because if you do that and you focus on it every day, you're going to find that person. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so you had a little bit of time to do that. You can always expand on that. The more crystal clear and better the vision is of what they specifically look like, the more you're going to be thinking about them and then drawing them towards you and looking for those kinds of people. So get more crystal clear on that. If you need to hunker down and do a little bit more of that, do that, and then put that in the thread when you post it in your house. We would love to see a picture of that in our 90-day group. So, okay, the next part says, your ideal client top struggles. Okay, the problem that your ideal client is facing is important to understand. People will only buy when an external struggle is going on to address an internal problem. Health example, migraines. Your ideal client isn't buying products to deal with the migraines as much as they are ordering to live in the moments again. They need to see the value in what they will gain long term from not using quick fixes. Here's a financial example. They have more month than money. Most people aren't going to see the buy-in for social selling as a way to conquer their financial issues. So get clear. This is really important. How does your product speak to your ideal client? Based on your unique purpose and your ideal client's profile, how can you help them solve their problem with what we have to offer? So think about the person in the profile that just you wrote up above. What is their struggle specifically, and how is what you have to offer going to offer a solution for them to be in the moments again in their life? And let's take a little time to reflect on that. And make sure you're really actually doing this. I know it's easy to pretend, but like really think about it, really push yourself to do it because it is really, really important and helpful for you.
And I think the other aspect is this is a very thought-provoking activity. So you're not going to obviously finish your worksheet right now in the next 5 minutes. But we wanted to get your mind, working through this and planting some seeds for your brain to continue this activity later on your own.
Okay, now that you've thought a little bit about what their struggle might look like, and we've identified who our ideal client is, it's time to find them. So you may already have him or her on your social media accounts. And one thing I found too is a lot of times they're friends that we already have, because a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times we choose friends based on our value system, right? Or that's what we should be doing. So people our ages and stuff will often do that versus littler kids that don't always do that. So you may already be friends with this person, right? You may have already have him on your social media, but we always want to be reaching out and adding to our funnel instead of working on the same people that we have all of the time. So first of all, don't get overwhelmed. Very important. And second, stay consistent. Instagram is heavily influenced by hashtags and is also an incredible place to find influencers. Chances are influencers with tens of thousands of followers have already been approached. However, the people that follow them with smaller accounts likely have not been. So you can meet your ideal client through other accounts. What are 10 to 15 hashtags that you can use in your post to attract your ideal client? And then it also says who are 2 to 3 influencers you can follow. And then you can look at people that follow them as well, or people they follow, and then click on their profiles. And if they don't have, 10,000 friends, they probably haven't been approached if it's a smaller account, right? There's a good chance, a better chance. Then Facebook groups. Look for groups that aren't too big so that your voice doesn't get lost, but also not too small. The key thing to look for is a group that is active with a few posts a day so that you can meet new people. Remember, it may take a few different groups to find your tribe and your vibe. So groups I have joined, and I know oftentimes a good spot for this is your kids groups. like your kids' baseball team group or your school group for your kids or Girl Scout group or any of that kind of stuff, because you're already chatting with them and they're in your life and you have things in common. So it's an easy connection spot. But you might want it, maybe you're super into, I don't know, like editing photos on Christmas cards, or maybe you're super into interior design and decorating. Whatever it is, find some groups like that that you have in common, which is small enough for you to meet a few people and have your voice be heard that you can participate in. And then it says, but on all platforms, show up authentically as yourself and don't sell. I know you're here because you want to learn how to share what you have and make a sale. But hear me out. You don't want to get into a group and sell to people. Your goal is to help them without selling. Here are some top tips for social media that will lead to them checking out your content and ultimately the sale. Don't reel social media differently than if you were sitting across, don't do real social media different than if you're sitting across a table from somebody. Keep the conversation natural and detached from the outcome. Not everybody will order from you, and that is okay. So the objective is engage with them, give meaningful feedback, refer them to your favorite things, and interact on stories and posts. Okay, so if you need like 1 little minute to kind of tie up loose ends on that, we can do that. Okay, and now I'm just gonna stop. I hope this was helpful for you. If you did not have time to finish all of that, try to really find some, just like a couple 10 minutes and finish it up today. Like we said, that ideal client, you're gonna wanna post that on your bathroom mirror or somewhere where it will get a lot of visibility to keep it in your mind each day. And then take a picture of it where you have it hanging and put it in our 90-day group. Okay, I'm gonna just stop the recording and then we will go through any questions that you guys have.